We're entering the ending of the fall season, and I'm buying all my winter reading material. And this book I saw on Amazon.com. Now, usually I could care less when people give it bad reviews. I like to read things on my own, just to see what it's all about. Uh, but this one completely fell off, into the cracks. I forgot about it, and I was on YouTube when a fellow Puerto Rican bruja, I think her name is Ashera Star Goddess, was talking about books that she had bought, and she showed this book. And so then I messaged her if she could show me some of the context. She did. It looked pretty interesting. So I said, this is one of those books that I think I should review. I see a lot of the reviews on Amazon.com where a lot of people just dislike it. They hate it. They say this is not witchcraft. And it's by Dr. Leonard R. N. Ashley. The book is titled The Complete Book of Spell, Curses, and Magical Recipes. And I asked her to show me some of the pictures in it, and it really looks like a grimoire. So, I haven't even read it yet. It just got dropped off in the mail. So I'm just going to delve into it and see what all the hype and the hate, the dislike about this book is all about. I see a lot of people, say that this is not witchcraft, and then you have some people that praise the book. Yeah, I see some people that really hate the book, and then some people that really praise the book. I generally don't. I'm not a mind zombie. I like to make my own decisions. If someone says, "Oh, don't read it because it's horrible," I read it. I want to learn. I want to know why they think it's horrible. I like to make my own decisions. So I just got it. I'm just gonna check it out. It looks like It's looks like a grimoire. I like the design of the pages, but a lot of people are saying this is not witchcraft and blah blah blah. So I'm just gonna look through the book and see what I see and read it and give you my final verdict of what I think about the Complete Book of Spell, Curses, and Magical Recipes by Dr. Leonard R. N. Ashley. So before I go any further, The Complete Book of Spells, Curses, and Magical Recipes by Dr. Leonardo R. N. Ashley. I think this book was first printed or published in 1997. You can get this book if you're interested in Amazon.com. This is like 400 pages. Literally, it's a 400-page book. And you can get this right now at Amazon.com or at the time of me recording this video if you're interested for $12.99. You can't go wrong for $12.99, 400 pages. And I'm going to take pictures of some of the interesting pages that I found throughout the book. But I see a lot of, if you read a lot of the comments, a lot of people either really hate this book or really love this book. Okay, so we're entering now into the witching hour. It's 12 o'clock at night. So what better hour to review this book? I gave it a good reading. Then here at the witching hour, 12 o'clock, midnight. The book is titled The Complete Book of Spells, Curses, and Magical Recipes. And it is by Dr. Leonard, I want to say Leonardo, sorry, Leonard R. N. Ashley. Now, first of all, I want to say thank you Thank you to my fellow YouTuber, Ashera Star Goddess. She did a quick review on her channel of the book. She just really quickly showed the book on her, on her YouTube. And so that piqued my interest in reading this book. I had seen this book many times before, and it's just one of those books that always fell under the cracks. I just never picked up, but I was always very interested in reading. And it wasn't until she mentioned it that I remembered about it. So I read it, I glanced through it, and I actually highly enjoyed this book. I read a lot of comments on Facebook. I'm sorry, Amazon.com. Sorry about that. All these web pages. I read all these reviews on Amazon.com. It gets a 3-star rating in Amazon.com, and then you got a lot of people who really dislike this book, and a lot of people who actually really love this book. I fall into the category of I like the book. You know what I'm saying? I really enjoyed the book for what it is. It's a dictionary, more so than it is a book. It's more of a dictionary than it is a witchcraft 101 for the modern pagan movement. No, it is more of a dictionary of spells and curses and magical recipes from witchcraft from many cultures around the world. You know what I'm saying? So you will find witchcraft here from Latin America, Hawaii. You will find Egyptian magic, Asian magic. You will find New Orleans voodoo. It is just a dictionary. It is like 300, almost 400 pages. So it is a dictionary. I'm going to try to find this in hard copy. I would like to find this in hard copy. But I liked it. I read the reviews of who liked it and who didn't like it. And, analyzing people, I came to realize who disliked the book and who liked the book. Okay, so I want to really state the importance that if you really want to learn more about the traditional forms of witchcraft that's practiced around the world, sometimes you have to read more academic books on the subject, not always Witchcraft 101. At my age, I've surpassed that, I guess. So here at my age, in my mid 40s, I really enjoy reading academic books. I can't read another book on how to cast a circle. It's just not for me. I don't feel like I'm growing that way. So I tend to search more for academic books on the subject of witchcraft and how witchcraft was practiced around the world, and not so much so as a religious movement, but as a craft in itself. Okay, because when you learn, because then if you learn about these things, you actually learn a little bit of the historical aspects, okay, and ways about how witchcraft was practiced, around the world or in certain areas around the world. So it's really important that, you get to learn a little bit, historical, and academic books. I mean, how many books on Wicca 101 do we need? Not to disrespect the Wiccan community, not to disrespect the New Age pagan community. How many books on the same thing can you read over and over again? After a while, it starts getting boring and old. My first book on witchcraft was actually not even a Wiccan book, but it was, and I've said this in my videos, it was the Paul Huson book, which is Mastering Witchcraft. So that was the first book I've ever read on witchcraft on the topic. And that is the book, when I first read that book, that was the foundation for everything that I've wanted to learn after that. And I never really steered away from that. I've grown and developed, but that was always the foundation of my interest into the world of magic as it is practiced, not so as a religious form, but as a craft, as a magical way of I guess, of living. Okay, so that was my first book, and I understand that a lot of people, their first book is Scott Cunningham, which is okay. I'm not disrespecting the Wiccan community. I'm not, disrespecting anybody like that. I want to also just throw out one of my godsons, Jonathan, who's going to probably watch this video. He's a Mexican brujo, but he is also a third-degree Wiccan. So he practices his Latino Mexican brujeria alongside his Wiccan. He's a third-degree Wiccan, and he incorporates them both into who he is, and it works just fine with him. Now, I was watching a lot of the reviews on Amazon.com, and I noticed that a lot of older witches and even some Wiccans actually enjoy this book for what it is. And I noticed that the people who really disliked it, who hated it, were more younger witches who would say that this is not witchcraft, this is not the way of our ways. First of all, the book is titled The Complete Book of Spell, Curses, and Magical Recipes. It is not the complete book of spells of Wicca. Okay, it is titled The Complete Book of Spells, of Curses, and Magical Recipes. And yes, most of these are traditional. And if you look through the book, you're going to find his resources at the end of each chapter, and most of them are ancient grimoires. He mentions and he cites many grimoires. He cites the Abramelin. I think he quotes oh my goodness, the 6 and 7 books of Moses in here. So he talks also about, oh my God, these authors are just flying out of my head. I think he also quotes Dion Fortune, the writer, the author who wrote the book on psychic self-defense, which we all know that is a classic. It was written way back in the 1940s, and every book on psychic self-defense quotes that book. And that is the book that if you're going to quote all these books, definitely I'm going to go to, I want to read that book. You know what I'm saying? So Dr. Leonardo R. and Ashley, he's written many books, okay? He's written the complete book of the Devil's Disciples, the complete book of Superstitions and Prophecies, the complete book of Devils and Demons, the complete book of Vampires, the complete book of Ghosts and Poltergeists, the complete book of Werewolves, the complete book of Sex Magic, what else? The complete book of Numerology, and the complete book of Dreams. And he's written other books on the language, on the English language. He's written around, what I counted was around 46 books. So Leonard, I always want to say Leonardo. Leonard R. and Ashley was a professor of English in Brooklyn College. He served as a secretary of the International Linguistic Society. He was the vice president of Amici Linguarum and participated in the International Conference on Onomastic Sciences. So this man was a professor. He was a scholar. This is not somebody, was a well-educated man. So the way he writes this book is of a dictionary, okay? It is a dictionary. Like I said, it is not a book on Witchcraft 101. This is just how witchcraft was practiced all over the world, from England to South America, Europe. So you're going to find witchcraft all over the world. And it basically, like I said, is a dictionary. As I'm reading through the book, I have seen many of these. Of course, much of what I've read in this book is actually not new to me. I own a great library on the subject of witchcraft, spirituality, and all that. So many of these things, many of what he writes here, and it's just basically, a small little things. You will find them in older grimoires, older books, but a lot of people don't want to collect old grimoires, old books. That would be very costly. So for the person who's interested in just one book and finding it all in one book, then I would definitely recommend it. And then he cites his sources. So if you want to further educate yourself, he cites his where he found this information and all the books, he definitely talks about that. So if you're interested in any certain thing that this dictionary talks about, then there are sites to where he got his information from, the title of the book, when it was published. So yes, these are basically magics from grimoires, spell books from various cultures around the world. And I read a lot of comments that said, no, that's not even witchcraft. Yes, if you read old grimoires, then yes, or if you read old spells, if you read academic books on the cunning folk of England, then you definitely will recognize many of these seals. You know what I'm saying? You will recognize many of these seals and many of where these spells are from, where they're cited from. So a lot of people say, no, this is not witchcraft. It is actually witchcraft. This type of witchcraft, this form of witchcraft predates the religious movement of pre-Wiccan movement that I think happened in the 1950s. This is just how witchcraft had changed. It had transformed, and what it became in many different cultures, around the world. So in this book, you will find Hispanic brujeria. You will find magic from ancient Christian Coptic magic, okay, Egyptian. New Orleans voodoo is mentioned in here. Some prayers for the Loa, as used in New Orleans voodoo. Santeria, there are a little section on Santeria, some of the Orisha, how they are incorporated into some of the Santos or the saints. So yes, this is much of this, 100% of this book is witchcraft. It is. It is just a dictionary, but it's a well-written and beautiful book, and I highly recommend it. Oh, wow. I think I would like that as a tattoo. That would actually look nice on my shoulder blade. Actually like that. This right here, it reminds me of basic witch ointment. And the recipe, where is it? Where did I see the recipe? Right there. It kind of reminds me of that movie, The Witches, that came out, or The Witch, that came out last year. It was based on Massachusetts. A lot of the New Age community, they really got upset with that movie because it was a bad, I guess bad view of what people think witches are, but it's a historical reference of how witches were viewed in those times. And it was based on Massachusetts, or anything that's based in New England, my home, then I'm down to go watch it. It's got some recipes. See that? So yeah, a lot of people didn't like it because, it was a bad, what did they say? A movie, The Witch, it doesn't give a good light to kill. It doesn't give a good light on how people view witches. Come on, it's a movie and it's a historical piece on what how people actually practice witchcraft in those days. I could I sit down every Halloween and watch Hocus Pocus. I have no problems with it. I tell people, oh, watch Hocus Pocus. I love that movie. The one with Bette Midler, Double Double, Trouble in Trouble. I have no problems with it. The Blood of Life, Love Lamp. This book is not, if you're looking to learn about spells, this book is basically more on how spells were historically done. And yes, even in that recipe with the flying ointment, you would be amazed if you look into YouTube in witchcraft around the world, or how witchcraft is practiced around the world, in Russia, in Bulgaria, in Mexico. A lot of neo-pagans would be amazed at how the ingredients that are used in witchcraft. So yes, if there's Eye of Newt, they're going to use it in those forms of brujeria. Dog fetus, dog dung, yes, they do. In Japanese, there's a form of black magic where they bury a dog in a hole, a live dog, and they starve it, and then the necromancer, or the sorcerer, entraps the soul to harm its enemy. So it's not that I do any of this. I just enjoy reading about that. I love to learn about the history of witchcraft, and just how it was practiced in those days. You know what I'm saying? At my age, I've been doing trabajo espirituales, spiritual work. Wow, I'm in my mid-40s, so I've been doing spiritual works for a long time. I know what to use where. I really don't use recipe books or spell books. I do enjoy some books that have like how to make incenses and oils, and how to mix, stuff to make maybe an incense that I've never made. I enjoy that. But I generally don't like too many of the modern spell books, because I don't need a spell to find a parking space. You have to understand that as a historical reference, much of the witchcraft, you must learn where you came from in order to know who you are, or what you are, what makes you who you are. So yes, a lot of in those days, it wasn't like today. I mean, look at the police brutality today, okay? Look at the police brutality today in modern times. So imagine in those days when these village witches, these cunning folks, these brujos, these people, they had no one to protect them or defend them but their own magic. If you lived in a time as that, then yes, this you would rely on magic, on your spell. It was the only defense. There's a saying, my grandmother used to say, that a man's greatest defense is his fists and his weapons. A woman's greatest defense is her knowledge of herbs. So imagine where she got that wisdom from. Where did that come from? So anyways, this is what this is all about. And do I recommend this? Well, I like it. I really do. I really do recommend it. I mean, it's basically a review. I mean, it says it what it is, the complete book of spell, curses, and magical recipes. I want to purchase this gentleman's other books. I see they're very hard to find, so I'm going to keep looking around on the internet to find them. But do I recommend this book? Yes, I do. I like it a lot. This type of magic is up my alley. Uh, this is I love learning about magic, ancient forms of magic from all over the world, Egyptian, Greece, ancient Asian magic, of course, Hispanic brujeria, Italian, Nordic magic. Uh, I just like it. I love to learn about ancient forms of shamanism. So I do enjoy this book. If you're looking for a modern spell book, then maybe this is not for you. But if you're looking to learn about the history of, and you're going to see that a lot of the magic that you even do, if you do spell work or trabajo espirituales, you'd be surprised at the origins. You'll be like, oh, that's very familiar. And you'll find the origin of where a lot of your spiritual work and magic might come from. Anyways, this is Sancista Brujo Luis. As always, I'm making this video a little too long, so I'm just going to cut it short. And go get your copy. I mean, $13 for 400 page. Guess what? Everyone in my Christmas list, all my friends, I'm going to buy a bunch of copies, and this is what they're probably going to get because it's actually an affordable Christmas gift. You know what I'm saying? It's an affordable Christmas gift, $13. And, instead of spending $20 on another book on Casting Circle and Magical Days, and this is something that it's more historical, and so I know what everyone's getting in my Christmas, what I'm going to be throwing in people's stockings this Christmas, this nativity. Anyways, this is Sancista Brujo Luis. If you enjoyed the video, please like, please subscribe, and please leave your comments down below. Santo Sanse.